Good morning, everybody. Got some jazzy, funky music going in the background. Love it. I was just saying we need to have music on all of our webinars from now on. That's too good.
Gotta love some George Benson.
All right. People are streaming in. I love it. So, yeah, this is one of our biggest registration of all of our webinars. I think you've hit on a theme that people are really interested in, Emily. So I see both some names I know and some names I don't know. Hello, Mr. Giudotti from Connecticut. Good to see you. Dimar, good to see you as well. Good morning, everybody. So yeah, per this slide, put in your name, company, and location and why you're here. This is an interactive session. We actually thought about having everyone on camera, but we couldn't switch it since it's a webinar. But next time, maybe we'll do it as a big Zoom meeting and everyone will be up and it'll be super, super duper interactive.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Chris.
Adam,
hi, Greg.
Renko, awesome. Looking to grow. There you go. Greg, right. Very good. You know, Greg, I'm good to see you there. Todd, awesome. Todd is already a marketing machine, so maybe we'll have him on to give some lessons. But fantastic. Yeah.
Always looking to grow because you know nothing about marketing. Because you're an introvert. I like it.
Yes, Heather.
I'm an introvert too. I am, even though I'm here doing this.
I used to be, and I had to learn not to be.
Right, yeah, I just had to learn how to not let it bother me.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, should we get going, Emily? What do you think?
Yeah. All right. Go ProShop.
Awesome, Dimar.
All right. Thank you, guys. So welcome to Marketing Doesn't Have to Suck. Get ready to get to work. The ladies are going to put a link in the chat for the worksheet in case you missed it. We're got some time before we're going to dive into that. So without further ado, this is Jared. Jared, like many shop owners that I meet, came to me unsure about what he should be doing for marketing. And he was embarrassed by his website. And it didn't even come close to representing the badass business that he had built. He even hired someone to redesign it 2 years before that, but because he didn't know how to communicate what he needed, it had been sitting there like this, unpublished ever since. Jared built a company that makes really cool, important stuff, and a team that is just as passionate about it as he is. He needed a brand that would reflect that level of dedication so that he could feel confident handing a business card to top brass in the U.S. Navy and the VP of Electric Boat and Newport News. He needed a brand that would attract more of the passionate and talented people that he needed on his team to continue delivering these top tier submarine components. So this is the website that we built for them. Really specific to his customer. When you get to this website, you can tell they make submarine parts. That's what they do. They're passionate about it. This is their brand video. It talks about the impact that they make and the importance of what they do. Our messaging was really, really clear about the why. Why they care about delivering these components cannot fail. I think what a lot of people don't realize, submarines, when they're at the lowest depths, they're they have way more pressure than any rocket ship will ever have in space, right? Like the pressure on these components is massive, and they need to be super, super precise to keep all of these souls safe that are on, on these vessels. So where did this come from? Oh, okay. Sorry, I have conversations with brilliant job shop owners like Jared nearly every day who are annoyed, overwhelmed, and confused by marketing. They're afraid to make the wrong decision and end up wasting their limited time and money on something that might not work. And that sucks. My company, Marketing Metal, evolved into this anti-agency that it is today because I got sick of seeing shop owners waste money on sucky marketing that doesn't work for them. I was tired of hearing horror stories about mega agencies claiming to be manufacturing experts, take a full year to launch, build and launch one job shop website. I hated seeing boring old job shop brands that epically fail to show true value and attract and convert the right kind of customers. I grew up during a time when small shops were dying out from overseas sourcing, like my grandpa's shop and my husband's grandpa's shop from Detroit. This is a photo that I took from his brochure from his shop from the 60s. I should have had it with me. It's downstairs. So I've had some fun turning these into little comic strips, just add some humor, make it fun. I witnessed the tragic ripple effects that that outsourcing had on manufacturing communities firsthand. This is Detroit. I grew up near Detroit. I went to school in Flint, which got hit extremely hard by all of that overseas sourcing. But now that that trend is reversing, I'm super pumped to see younger generations breathe new life into the shops that survived or start new ones, like Eric did. This is another ProShop customer. And like all of you fine humans that are here today that I can't see, but I know you're there.
And I'll just chime in. So Eric just
Yeah.
posted yesterday, maybe the day before, that he'd won a 45,000 piece contract, probably from the marketing services that you helped him put together and the new website, which looks amazing. So yeah, clearly results can come from better marketing, undoubtedly. Super
Yeah,
excited for him.
for sure. But I just want to say too, like the brand we built for Eric, I don't have it queued up right now, but it turned out the way that it is because that's who he is. Because I took the time to get to know him and understand what's important to him and build something that would, really make him feel like himself and like his best self, like his best, most authentic self. And that's what great marketing is supposed to do. If you don't learn how to effectively position, market, and sell your services and employment opportunities, you're still at risk of getting bowled over and bought up by giant corporations. I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen. I want to help you get a handle on your marketing and create a reliable way to attract and retain awesome customers and employees so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed and stressed out all the time. I've been there. I went from struggling founder, ready to throw in the towel, to a known authority in this space because I show up authentically and share my knowledge on LinkedIn and podcasts and conference stages and workshops like this one. The more time I spend educating and helping job shop owners with their brands and marketing, the clearer my message becomes and the more confident and shiny I become. I don't know if all of you were there when Paul and I were talking about how we're introverts, but we kind of had to, you just got to get over it and, think about the impact that you're making and not so much about, how stupid you sound because you don't sound stupid if you're, if you're speaking from the heart and you're talking about things that you know about, which you do. You are experts. You're all here because you're experts in what you do. So,
one thing I like to think is that If you really have conviction that your product and service is a world-class product or service, then you are doing your potential customers a disservice by not getting out of your comfort zone and pushing and getting in front of them and having that conversation with them, because you know that you can probably do it better than the next shop or the next company that provides a similar service. So yeah, get out of your comfort zone, get out there, and have those conversations if you really have that conviction in what you're offering.
Yeah. And if you don't have that conviction, what can you do to build it? So much of being a confident business owner and leader is working on your mindset, reframing things that are, reframing those fears that you have and reframing the self-conscious, limiting beliefs that you have. And that's brings us to the framework that we're going to work on today. It's shape, sharpen, shine, and magnetize. This is a continual process. So you're by continually practicing these three things, I personally went from feeling like a failure, lost, and completely petrified by the thought of marketing my business to confidently hosting this workshop today. I learned how to shape my brand and marketing strategy to reach a specific customer, job shops who want to up-level, and make it powerful enough to stop them in a doom scroll. I started to sharpen all of my processes and communications to simplify things for me and my customers, from how I create and publish high value content to the way that I lead them to their goals through our stupid, simple setup and build out process. I figured out how to shine through the crowd of rusty old marketing agencies that fail to meet the needs of these shops by showing the passion that I have for my work, talking about the challenges and the problems that I see all the time, and making a lasting and memorable impression on every person that I meet. And now I magnetize the kinds of awesome shop owners who want to make a real impact on the world and inject their big energy into an industry that's dying of stagnation. Shape, sharpen, shine, magnetize.
Well put.
So I'm excited to teach you this framework so you can magnetize your target audience and feel like a marketing rock star. So we have these worksheets. I'm actually going to go through them with you too, because as I said, this is a continual process. And the more that you're doing this work, the better your message is going to be, the more magnetizing you can be, the more clear you will get on your messaging, the more sharp you're going to look to your target audience, and the more shiny you'll become. How's that sound? Everybody ready? You got the
I'm ready. I'm doing it too.
PDF? Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Thank you for putting a direct link, Sarah, right in there so people can download it.
Yes. So, quick story. I did a version of this workshop a year ago. And I really wanted to make it, we're always our own worst critic. So I listened to that workshop again recently and I was like, ugh, you're always like cringe when you hear yourself talk. So I wanted to make this a little bit more interactive, and I just recognized something about myself, that I show up more authentically when I'm not worried about sticking to the script and making sure all my slides look perfect, and making sure the slides sync up with the script and all the things. Like I show up more myself, and I have a bigger impact on people when I'm not worried about those things. So I made the decision to scrap the script. I just had that beginning part and I'm really going to improvise the rest of this. So I've actually been taking an improv class for most of this year, and just learning how to be more comfortable, in my own skin, and understand or observe the energy of the room, which is hard to do when you can't see everybody's face. But take your comments and try to just go with the flow and come up with, teach from the heart is what I'm trying to do. So everybody take a second and type in the chat one reason why you think marketing sucks.
Ooh, get ready for the tidal wave.
Yeah, I'll start. Marketing sucks for job shops because their brands are boring and generic.
Mm-hmm.
Time consuming when you wear so many hats. Yes. Hard to know what will resonate. Yes. Begging for your attention. Yes. Feels icky. Hard to determine what's working and what's not. Not sure who to send emails to. Everyone produces on time and high quality. Yes. Hard to differentiate yourself, right? How to know where to start. Who is your audience? It takes a long time for the payoff and effort. Yes. Sometimes you lack content because of IP, because you can't share your customers'
Pictures. Yeah.
work. You're an introvert. I'm an introvert. Not enough time to follow through with it. Hard to communicate how you differentiate yourself. Elusive metrics and ROI. Hard to know what's effective and worth investing in. Yes. Yes.
All the things.
All the things. Yep. Marketing's hard. It's a pain in the ass. It does suck sometimes, but it doesn't have to. Yeah, sticking to industry standards while also appearing unique. Yeah, 100%. Yep. So, okay. So the thing that I said was marketing sucks because it's boring and generic. That is like the number one problem that I see with job shops. You're trying to show that you have on-time delivery and quality, and you have the ISO cert, whatever. Like you're trying to hit all the things that you think your customers are looking for. But what you're lacking is personality. And by showing that personality, which it seems counterintuitive and terrifying, you think that you need to be professional and buttoned up, but really what's going to stand out and be memorable is being human, being yourself. So on this first page, we have shape. And the first thing that I always ask customers is to really get clear on who your target audience is. So I do this exercise where we rank past customers by highest paying and the most enjoyable and fitting. Paul also has this whole like scorecard blog post that he'll maybe be able to put in the chat, find and put in the chat. But
yes, I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, there's lots of different things that you can rank your customers for, and lots of different reasons why they are going to be a good fit for you or not. So, and if you're a new shop too, this is harder because you've only had one or two customers, but you can use like past jobs as a reference, or experience talking to other shops, or even experience from like a different type of a business, or even just the types of people that you hang out with and click with. Like, again, this is more so on the human aspects of your customers than, the industry and the size of company. Like those things are important. I'm not saying they're not. You want to have those defined. but really think about who you click with the best. Why? So break down why. We'll start with the first thing first. So start just jotting down all of your customers and then kind of try to rank them. And I'm gonna do this too. And
just a tip, if some of you are using Chrome as your main browser and downloaded that worksheet, Chrome, from what I find, doesn't have very good like built-in editing and text adding. But if you go to your downloads folder and open it with Microsoft Edge, there's some really nice built-in text features and editing features. So you can make text boxes and do it all right there with Edge. Just a little tip. That's what I'm doing. So
good to know. You can also just get out a notebook. Get
out a notebook. Yeah, for sure. So Emilio, the link for the thing is if you scroll up, maybe we'll do it again. Maybe you weren't here, but let's post that again, Sarah.
And I'm just gonna give us like 4 minutes to work on this.
Sarah and Aubrey are both on it. Thank you both. And I see we have Jordan raised your hand. Jordan, do you have a question? We might be able to bring you up and let you ask it live. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. All right, we're just about there. Thanks, Fair, for putting in the scorecard blog post.
All right. How did that go? What did you guys come up with? Does anyone want to share? Just type share in the chat.
This is a good exercise in getting out of your comfort zone and getting out there and just doing it live. You will get so much more from it than if you just sit in the background with your notepad. So
Yep.
let's get some people up here wanting to come up live. If we don't have anyone come up soon, I can certainly go and think about it from the frame of reference of when we had our shop. Restate the question. The question, Heather, is you want to come up live and share what you just did on your worksheet with who's the magic, mining for the magic, who's your best customer, your sweet spot customers.
Oh, did we get hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Paul, are you working off last year's workshop worksheet?
I just grabbed the one that was thrown.
Okay.
Where did I grab the one? Do I have the wrong worksheet? I grabbed the one, I think, from the website link, Metal Up Your Marketing.
Yeah, that was from last year.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It's
last year's workshop. Download.
It's similar stuff. Like we're doing similar stuff. So I even wrote that on the page.
Right.
Like
My mistake.
Some of
Yes,
the stuff is
that.
similar. It's just framed different.
You're right. Okay.
Because I'm always shaping, sharpening.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
You know my message. So I'm trying to do it better.
Yeah, you are. Okay. So, oh, Sebastian. All right. Oh, I guess Heather went first. Should we bring Heather up? Let's bring Heather up.
Oh, I don't have reactions.
Oh, okay. She said let Sebastian go. All right, Sebastian. Where is Sebastian? Sebastian, you're here twice. We'll try. All right, Sebastian, you can talk, I think, if you unmute.
All right. Can you hear me?
You bet.
All right. So I'm actually Daryl. Sebastian, my colleague, signed us up for this meeting.
Okay, Daryl.
So, and I apologize in advance because this is not going to be the answer you're looking for, but we are a mold shop. We've been building molds for 10, 15 years. We have about 15 people in our tool room. And just recently, basically beginning in February, we started doing some outside machining work just to use our capacity, try and fill our capacity because we have some automation equipment that allows us to run overnight and unattended, lights out. So we've had 4 or 5 different customers in a few different industries. So we're still kind of finding our way in terms of who would be our best, who or what type of customer we're going after. So I know that's not very helpful, but I figured if nothing else, I would go and help break the ice.
Well, thank you. What did you say? You're not.
Sorry,
you're not
my name's
Sebastian. What's your
Daryl.
name?
No, Daryl.
Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, this is an ongoing process. It's and it's just about reflection, just like reflecting on the experiences that you have with your customers and, you know, noticing why they went well, why they could have been better. You know, what are the things that you appreciated about them? What are the things that they appreciated about you? Just really taking store of that anytime you can.
Yeah. So one of the things we definitely have noticed that we appreciate about our customers early on is being a mold shop. We're usually working to tenths, and ironically, most of the work that seems to be coming in, you know, it's plus or minus. If we're, you know, worst case, plus or minus 1,000. Sometimes it's way looser than that, and Yeah, so we appreciate those jobs where the tolerances are wide open and it's actually half decent money. So right now, those would be our favorite customers that we found the first few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so think about why those customers have those features. Like, what is it about the work that they do that makes it
Lower
makes
tolerance.
it
Yeah.
yeah, makes the
Yeah.
tolerance be loose, and like what kinds of customers are going to have those features, right?
Yeah. Well, and the other irony is our best customer so far is literally right across the street from us, and they do attachments for heavy equipment, excavators, the big claws you see on cranes they use in scrap yards.
Mm.
Okay.
And these items sell from, depending on the size, anywhere from 30 to, I believe, 250 grand.
Dang.
Whereas we're building molds for in-house only. And then we also have the plastic manufacturing side where we're selling plastic automotive parts for, 2 cents to 50 cents, which is crazy. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Ben says my favorite customers are the ones that send POs. Yeah, and the ones that pay their POs fast, right? Um, and that's a factor that's important, right? We're all here running businesses. We have to make sure that we're making money so that we can pay our people and, pay our vendors and make sure that we're investing in our business so that we can continue providing better experiences for our customers going forward. Nikki says favorite customers, the ones where tolerances are not tight, but existing customers, enhanced machine products need to be just as prints. Not fussy customers. Yes, exactly. The ones that come quickly, communicate quickly. Yeah, that's nice. American companies who invest in new technologies and do cool stuff, as opposed to Canadian companies that don't really push boundaries. Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, people that you can work with locally so you can shake their hand. That's always a good thing for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna switch it and think about what is it about your offering that your customers appreciate? What are the things that you're doing differently? And again, I'm not just talking about like the types of machines that you have and the types of tolerances that you can hit. Those things are important, but I'm also talking about your personality and the way that you like to work. And, maybe you bend over backwards for customers, or,
You have quick turn or really good communication updates on your jobs yeah.
yep.
I think about this when you're starting to have a conversation with a prospect and they are talking about the incumbents that maybe aren't doing something that this customer is satisfied with. What are those things that you can say, oh, we can totally cover that, or we do that better, or whatever it might be that they then come to love, about working with you. That's that maybe isn't something that's super common with other companies. So yeah,
Yep.
building rapport and being genuine, that's good, Ben, for sure.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna put 3 minutes on. Yeah, think about what are the things that you do best and why.
That's a good one, Robert. Yeah, we can reshare the worksheet again.
All right. How did that go? I want to just point something out too on the worksheet. The last question for that, the specific offering, is there something small and inexpensive you can sell to get new customers in the door? So that's thinking about like, what are the problems that they come to you with, and maybe outside of actually making a part for them. And this might not work for you, but sometimes you can sell like engineering services separately, or oh, bummer. I just realized I'm only reacting to you guys. There we go. Okay. I'm not used to using Zoom. I don't use it very often. So for example, I have a thing called the setup. It's under $1,000. It's something that helps customers. I give them a roadmap basically, because a lot of my customers come to me, not sure what their next step should be with marketing. So I ask them a lot of questions, really deep dive into what their business is, and then I develop a plan of what I see as their best path forward. And then sometimes that turns into work for us, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it will in 2 years. It's just kind of something that helps them get a taste for the, what I offer and how I provide my services.
Yeah, and I'll share
So
I'll share as well. Back when we had
yeah.
our shop, we didn't have a small service, although we did do prototyping work, and sometimes that was a foot in the door. But we ended up doing design for manufacturability newsletters and workshops. And sometimes we would get an engineer on our newsletter for a while, and then they would say, hey, I'm interested in a workshop. And most of the time, if they weren't already a customer, we would charge a small fee to go do that. Sometimes we would just do it for free, but that was often a really good foot in the door that would lead to RFQs and lead to orders from those companies. So I know I've blogged about that as well, just trying to lead with just offering value, something that would be value to that company, that they would sort of then put you in a different tier as sort of a partner, or someone that they can get something from, that ultimately that attracts them to want to do business with you. That's useful. Thank you everyone for sharing in the chat. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of common themes here, I think, about people appreciating creative solutions, can-do attitudes, flexibility, collaboration. Responding to emails quickly. It's kind of remarkable.
That's a big one.
How just rapid and prompt and professional communication can make such a big difference to people.
I know, and I think it's funny because those of us who are that way, like, don't, it's who we are, and we don't realize that not everyone is like that, and that is actually a differentiator. Yeah, awesome. All right, good work. So, any questions, other questions on that? I answered a couple in the chat.
Big company expertise without the big company hassles. That's a great way.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm going back. Nikki said, you give them what they're asking for, on-time delivery, collaborate one-on-one. Yeah, that's great. Can fully understand their needs and help them achieve results. Yep. Building ongoing relationships is big. Okay. So the next one is vision and goals. So, what's the big long-term vision that you have for your company? Maybe it seems unattainable to you in this state that you're in right now. But every big dream starts with one step, right? So break down that, work backwards from that vision. Like, what are the things that you can do today to work towards that? How can you get started and build momentum? So, and I want to, the reason this is important is because there are 100,000 ways to skin a cat with marketing. And they're not all going to work for you. A lot of marketing tactics and strategies would never work for a job shop. And there's a whole lot of information out there about marketing. And it can be very overwhelming and confusing when you don't, when that's not your expertise. So, so it's really important to be clear on your goals, because that will help you decide what are going to be the easiest ways to, to reach your goals. So, so like a lot of companies come to me, they want to be first on Google. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you want to be first on Google? Because they want leads, right? They want perfect leads. So, okay, do you need a high volume of leads? Like if you had 100,000 leads come in today, what would you do with them? Right. So just getting really specific about like, what are those numbers that you actually need to hit? And how can you get to them the easiest way possible? Search engine optimization, getting to the top of Google, that takes a lot of work and a lot of money. And it's a lot of shops do not have that time or money. So there's more effective ways to get leads for your shop. SEO is something that can be done organically, and should be done organically over time. The longer your website is up, the more the more authority it will build. So it will get there, but but if you're really trying to compete in the search, in the search results, that think more about why and if that's really the best tactic to focus on. So 3 more minutes. Go. All right. Questions, thoughts?
We have been in the semiconductor industry and we've been doing great. Our vision is to get better and expand our markets to federal and biomedical. That's a good vision.
Yeah, I like that. Specific.
Yeah. I think one of the things I've seen over the years, and especially with like the two examples you showed, Cogitic and VDH, very nichey, very specific in the markets that they're targeting. They're not trying to be generalists, you know, to everybody. And I think that is that's pretty essential. It's hard to compete when you're competing against everybody.
Yep.
In fact, I will share another link here. This was one of the podcasts I did a couple of years ago
That was a good one.
about the riches and the niches. This was a company that made very small little connector parts for satellites and other things, and they didn't try to be a generalist to everybody, and it was very effective. And he has a whole worksheet and stuff about that. So great to listen to later. So
Yeah.
Roberts, yeah, I've recently started working with a company that is using their parts for their own consumption. They don't sell anything. Oh, okay, so it's sort of internal.
Yeah, Dennis, totally. AI is making established SEO methods obsolete. Also, SEO methods get obsolete like every couple months, I feel like. So even before AI. Yeah, what could I do to help you versus what can I do to make this sale? There's no faking caring about your customers, 100%. That's so true. SEO is a full-time job. You are absolutely right. Yeah, so yeah, and think about ways that you can get in front of more of your ideal customers as an authority, right? Like Paul was talking about doing their design for manufacturing newsletters and workshops, and you know, me doing workshops like this. Like those are ways to get in front of multiple prospects at once and really show that you're an authority. You know, can you apply to speak at one of your industry conferences? Those things are not always free, but and they definitely take, you know, time and effort to come up with a pitch for your, you know, for your talk, and find the right shows, etc.
And I
Yeah.
also maybe we can share the link as well. We just published a video with an interview I did with a customer named Tom from RX Industries. Started as a one-man shop a few years ago, and now it's like 15, 16 people. But he recently has been going out and walking very specific shows. So he went to the helicopter show in Long Beach, I think, a few weeks ago, and another show in Chicago, and just went up to these exhibitors and said, hey, I'm a small machine shop. I'm ISO certified. I'm getting my AS certification soon, and I want to do business with you. Thank you, Abra. And he was expecting to just be, you know, rejected and so sorry, or, you know, but pretty much every company he approached was keenly interested in learning about his business, asking, when are you going to have your AS certification? Can you come visit us? You know, here's an NDA. Let's start, you know, talking. And he in the interview, he's like, I probably have like 25 cards on my desk from those, you know, from those two shows. And he's like, and these are companies like Airbus and, you know, big name companies that are desperate to find suppliers right now. So that's a little more sales than marketing, but if you do that outreach, you know, and have a beautiful website and some, you know, nice marketing materials that looks really professional, they're going to just take you more seriously, and those conversations will progress at a faster pace than they would otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. And what you said too about like that's more sales and marketing. You guys are all small shops. Sales and marketing are the same thing, and they all rest on your shoulders, likely. I mean, How many of you actually have a marketing person in-house? Nobody, I bet. Does anyone
Right.
have a marketing person in-house? Type in the chat.
I
Yeah,
know
so
there's at least one bigger shop. That's Todd
yeah,
Roush Yates. That's his job, sales and marketing. But
yep,
most do not. Most do not.
most do not. Yeah. So how can you be super effective and targeted with your, with your marketing and your sales efforts? Because they go hand in hand. They, even when you have an actual marketing and sales team, like they have to be working together for them to be effective. So you know, um, I'm just realizing I think that I didn't time this right. We might have to.
Are we done in 6 minutes? This is
No, we have
is it
another
90
half
minute?
hour.
The 90 minute. Okay, good.
Yeah, we have another half hour,
Good.
but we have a couple people that wanted to come up and share. So I'll make sure we have time for that.
Okay.
Um,
Some of these workbook things will have to happen after we will have to finish it up later, I think.
yeah. And so I created a secret page for everybody who is here today. Uh, the girls can put that in the chat. But there's some resources in there. I have the download from today. The PDF is there. We'll link up the video when we're once it's done processing. But I put last year's PDF in there, the worksheet in there. It's a little bit different. There's a couple things in there that are a little bit deeper than today's. And some things from today that are not on there. So and then just a couple other freebies. There's a radicalize your boring website, because boring won't bring you customers or talent. That guide is in there. I also marketing value stream map for those of you that are visual learners and like to see how everything works together. You can download that map. And then I put a link to a 30-minute clarity call with me. I don't do that. I do like 15-minute intro calls. So that is a thing that I'm doing just for you guys. So take advantage of that. Again, I know a lot of you are just not sure what your first step needs to be. So finish going through the worksheets and then book a call, and we'll talk through it, make sure you know what you need to do. And then the last one is if you already have an awesome brand and you are really ready to shine and put it out there, and you're ready to take the next steps and start doing some content marketing. I have a whole content system that I built, so it's just more in-depth worksheet, so you can download on that on there too. Make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. And awesome. I look forward to talking to you, Heather.
Yeah, and thanks for those that have to jump off. Appreciate you
Yeah.
being here, and yeah, finish up those things later. So yeah, Nikki asked, how do you sign up again, please? It's that link right up above that Sarah dropped, marketingmetal.com/ProShop. And
Yep.
should we bring up our first live? Should we bring up Carly?
Yeah.
Okay, Carly, I'm gonna ask you to unmute and let you talk with us.
Hello, can you hear me?
We sure can. Hey there.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to my question. So I'm not sure. I think I'm like the only Canadian company in this webinar right now, which like again, thanks for like having us and whatnot. So my question, it's like obviously regarding targeting American markets as a Canadian company. So like we've already set ourselves up in like a really good position, like aside from being like in a fantastic location right next to like Toronto International Airport, like we've already signed up with sam.gov and like the DLA, as well as like identifying like what NAICS codes like align with like our company and whatnot. What other like additional certifications and registries like as a Canadian company like would be beneficial to us? And even aside from that, like how can we best situate ourselves to the American market and like get noticed?
Yeah. I think Paul can probably talk about certifications more than I can, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, so you're hoping to target markets that requires the certifications like ISO or AS9100, or
Yeah, we have those. Yeah.
you do have those?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's just getting more recognition for prospects that require those certifications that
Mhm.
can still do work with a Canadian. So maybe not defense related.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like the story I mentioned about Tom just a minute ago, you know, getting face to face with prospects at shows or at conferences, I think is one of the single most effective ways. I certainly know that we have a customer that we're just doing an implementation series podcast with, and they've grown considerably, largely through direct LinkedIn messaging. So they have just, you know, the digital equivalent of going to that show. You know, they have researched the companies that they think would be a good fit for them in terms of the types of products they need and the industries and markets. And they then have looked for, you know, procurement managers or engineering managers and directly message to say, hey, you know, I'd love to work for your business. And sometimes you don't get a response, and sometimes they've gotten responses on the first or second message. And that has turned into relationships that have turned into substantial business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that direct communication is going to be better than a shotgun approach.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and I'll say too, when you're doing the direct LinkedIn thing, because that's sort of one of my main strategies too, is, you know, making sure that your heading on LinkedIn is very clear and very specific. Are you only targeting US companies?
No, like obviously there's a few companies in like the UK and Europe that we're also interested in, but like we're trying to keep more of like a North American like basis. So
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, you could do something like fun and funny and out of the box, and like, hey, your friendly neighbors to the north want to help you out, or something like, I don't know.
yeah.
Just kind of making you know, Americans love Canadians. You guys are all laid back and cool and fun, and
Yeah, and we love you guys. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. No,
So yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
you know, you could do some messaging around that and be interesting about it. But I would also say, like, I get I think people accept my connection requests, and I get connection requests from prospects all the time, because I am very specific about who I work with and what I do and how I help them. So and I post on LinkedIn actively. You know, I'm always sharing my knowledge and showing off my customers and supporting other people. Like that is one of the easiest strategies on LinkedIn, is just like sharing other people's content, you know, and supporting other people. Like you get more views on your profile if you do that. So
Sure. Thank you.
yeah, does that help?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, of
we're going to
course.
bring up Emilio next. So let's see here. All right, Emilio, you can chat if you want. And do we need to?
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, like my statement, we're starting from scratch. We're automotive supplier and 40-year supplier to automotive market. And as you know, based on past, we always were represented by manufacturing representatives, but no, last several years or many more years, that has been phased out. And now we're left without any type of sales representation or capability. And our sales have been at best probably flat. And we just are depending on our current customers to win other new business so that we could win new business. And that's how our sales have improved. But as far as new customers with that has probably we're not experiencing any growth in that area. So that's where, what do you recommend as far as starting from, from ground level to begin?
Sure. Who is your main audience?
Companies like GM and their tier 1 suppliers,
Okay.
Honda, and other similar companies.
Mm-hmm. Are you connected with all of your past customers?
In general, yes, I would say so.
How often do you reach out or connect with customers you haven't worked with in a while?
None.
None.
We haven't talked to them in months or years. We don't know why
That's a place
they
to
left.
start.
I don't know if it's been because of cost or delivery or quality, but we only get responses from them when they're when they send a part for us to quote on.
Mhm.
But other than that, there's no real systematic interaction.
Okay.
Are
So
your
one
customers?
thing-
Oh yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Bob.
You go ahead first.
One thing that I've done to get, I mean, to me, the best way to connect with a customer is, over the phone or face to face on a call like this. So that you can really get, you can really ask questions and understand where they're at. And, if they're past customers, like, what did they enjoy about working with you? If they went somewhere else, why, and what can you do to bring them back? People want to know that they're valued and they're busy. Sorry, those are two separate sentences. They are busy and they want to know that they're valued. So I've sent out emails to past customers that just said, like, the subject line was just their name and like, do you have a second to can I get your opinion, your advice on something? Like, just really quick, simple. And then in the body of the email, like, do you have 15 minutes? I really could use your advice on something. And then take that time to really understand what what they're dealing with and if you can help them.
That's great advice. That was basically what I was going to say. But I don't know. Are your customers spread out all over the country? Or are they somewhat local to you?
In the region, mainly in the region, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Midwest region.
Okay. I mean, I would also consider doing a little road trip tour and say, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Can I bring you, take you to lunch, or you just have 15 minutes of your time? Getting that face to face. It's amazing how often they'll just start to kind of open up about current problems with vendors or things they're dealing with, and just having that candid, authentic conversation can be really effective.
Yeah. And ask lots of questions.
Yeah.
It's not about you, it's
And
about them.
And also, just to get some of your input, we're fortunate enough that in our county, they're offering a grant to develop marketing.
Awesome.
And with that, we haven't gotten the approval or the money in our pockets, so hopefully they will give us that grant. But how would I approach the development? Because in reviewing some of the 3 things for marketing, and I'm very ignorant with marketing, but the three things I've learned is lead generation, the search engine optimization, and website development. How would the overall project would be in your view? What would be the more important thing to do? Let me put it that way, because those are 3 main areas.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, having a brand, a website and business cards or brochures or whatever you want to bring with you, if you actually choose to do some in-person stuff, which again is it's magic. In person is always better. Especially these days because people are sucked into their phones all the time and they want to feel that human connection. But I would say you know, having those materials looking good and accurate to what you know what you can do. I think that was that's like page 2 is, you know, sharpen, get your brand buttoned up and make sure that it accurately represents the work that you do. Make sure your personality is there, and make sure that you're really being clear about who you help and how you help them. The SEO stuff is, you can waste a lot of money on SEO and not get any results. So I'm gonna say that, but it is a strategy that works for some companies. I don't typically recommend it for job shops, not at first. But
Yeah,
book that call. Let's talk more, and if I have a better understanding of what you have going on, I can provide better insight.
Okay,
awesome. Thank you, Emilio. Appreciate you
Thank
joining
you.
us. All
Thank
right,
you.
Nikki, you're up next.
Hi.
You're muted. Prompt you to unmute. Can you unmute yourself, Nikki? There you go.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. It's so good to see you guys. Paul, it's
You
been a
too. It has been. How are you?
We're good. We're busy. My kid is graduating today, so yay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just from middle school. It's not a big graduation, but it's big to him.
Still, yeah.
That's cool.
So that being said, after you know, spending time with babies who are grown now, we're ready to take the business to the next level.
Mm.
Sarah, it's very nice to see you and hear your name. Opera, very nice.
Yeah, nice to
Good
meet
to
you.
see you. ProShop has been very instrumental in helping us position ourselves to be where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
We love talking about, I think Kurt loves ProShop talking to Paul more than me. More than talking. Okay, so I'm a little bit jealous now.
That can't be true.
He just feels like you understand what he's saying. Sometimes he talks to me and I think he's speaking Martian, you know. I don't know. So getting back to those strategies, so far, our ways of our strategy has been in getting new business is to build on what we have done previously, use our past track records to push us to the next level.
Yeah.
So like I said, my youngest kid, we've been blessed with 2. So he's graduating middle school. So that means I need to move on. I no longer have to spend that much time with them, right? So we've been trying to grow our company. So we've been within the semiconductor industry for a while, and you know, it's cyclical, it's painful. It gives me wrinkles, pimples, and gray hair that you can't really see, thank God. But we'd love to go into biomedical and the federal government. We've already positioned ourselves properly with our software programs, so on and so forth. We're in the right position. Now we have to go out and seek them because they're going to turn around and say, well, you can't support us because of your capacity. Well, we're okay now. Today we are. It took us a long time to get to where we are today. So we were at a conference and this guy comes up to me and he tells me about geofencing.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, you know, I feel so old because I kind of sort of like stepped away from marketing, even though I'm supposed to be, this is my job. And Kurt is doing operation, as Paul knows. I feel dated to a certain degree because all of marketing is not what it used to be, what I was taught in school. It has grown and into something that's like, oh my God. And I didn't know that you can actually, how did she say it? I have a professor who's so smart. She's at UT. And she said that you cannot get sales without marketing. I was like, wow, that's shocking. I don't know if I said that right. So like LinkedIn, which is something she talks about frequently as the #1 way to get into people's face because everybody is on the phone, right? And that's quick. But what are your thoughts on, my question to you is, what are your thoughts on geofencing? He was saying instead of going to these conferences, if you want to learn who the engineers are, whom you want to target, you could just get all of their information. I feel in a way that it's kind of like looking under your dress. You know, I'm not sure I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm curious. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so geofencing is a way to target a specific geographical location with ads. So it's advertising is what it is. It's just a a very targeted form of advertising, and you can actually geofence like a conference. You can target people that are at the conference on a certain day or whatever. But with advertising, as with any marketing, you need to get in front of people, they say like 6 to 7 times before they even register your ad or whatever you're showing. So it can be a good strategy if you know where your customers are going to be, geographically. And if you pair it with retargeting, which it puts a cookie in their computer and then your ads follow them around the internet, that's that can be a good way to target too. But I would argue against the idea that you don't have to go to the conference, and I think the conferences are very valuable, being there in person.
I agree.
And I kind of do like your analogy of like peeking under your skirt. Like it's a little bit
invasive.
It's a little invasive. It can be. I personally don't pay much attention to ads. Sometimes I'm scrolling on Instagram and something will stop me, but it's got to be like, it's got to be speaking directly to me. Like the ad has to be really powerful to actually make someone pay attention to it these days.
It's true. So what I'm thinking is, we've never used it. I think we're gonna try it, but our customers are, we know where they are. And as time goes on, they change and there's newer generation in there. And I've stepped away because of the kids. I've stepped away from that, visiting customers continuously and just reestablishing connection with these facilities that's moved on, that's changed. And we've got some great plans. Is it doable? Yes, it's very doable, but what strategies are we going to use? And how much money are we going to spend on it?
Yeah.
Because a machine shops like ours, we don't have a huge advertising budget.
No.
Sure.
So
you don't have a lot of time either.
Yes, that's true. So it's kind of sort of like reestablishing connection with our customers. And I feel I've gone away for a bit and we just stayed with the ones, the cash cows. But I think we would do better if we open up the pathway for other customers to see like a reintroduction to our company with our capabilities. Now that we're ISO certified.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
we have ProShop in there as well with our cloud-based ERP system and everything else. I think we're well positioned. So
did you do any PR around that?
no. So Kurt keeps saying, Paul, when did Paul put our company up there on LinkedIn? I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. But I haven't been looking,
we'll do that. I apologize, I haven't yet. So
that I could look.
so Nikki, I think there's a couple things. So you're right that there's lots of new fancy marketing things like geofencing that wasn't a thing many years ago. but fundamentally, it still comes down to human connections. A business is not going to do business with you unless there's at least one human there that trusts and believes that you're going to be a good supplier. And
Right.
so, as far as putting some ads and trying to target, a lookalike audience, like people that are in a certain industry that you want to target moving into biomedical or, government or whatever, you could certainly do that. That's probably more expensive than direct communication outreach to targeted people at the companies that you want to reach.
Yeah.
And then as far as existing customers or former customers, which are the lowest cost customers to bring back in because they already know you, you're already in their database possibly. Yeah, that direct outreach. Hey, it's been a while. Let's have lunch. Let's have a meeting. We're now ISO certified. Here's our new branding, really polished with your personality, like Emily talks about. That is going to be your lowest hanging fruit to getting more business with companies that already are familiar with your business.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can even do what you did when you got on this call. Like, hey, I've been busy raising babies for the last couple years, and now I'm here. I'm coming out. Like, let's talk.
Absolutely.
That is a thing that's going to be memorable and stand out, right?
That'll resonate with anybody.
Yeah.
Well, life happens, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
And the baby shows up. There is something else I wanted to ask. Oh, regarding our the other person from Canada, our friend in Canada, I've learned something about that SAM.gov, and I just wanted to share it. It's interesting. When you get on the SAM.gov, if you type your special codes that your business falls into, if you go all the way and it shows up like the bids, like what's available. If you go all the way down to the bottom of that page, you will find out who those buyers are. And it's true, just like you said, Paul, and just like you said, Emily, people will do business with people they feel confident in.
Yeah.
And I keep telling Kurt, I know it's painful. I know we don't want to leave Texas, but we have to go and see our customers.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because out of sight, out of mind. And that
Yep.
lunch makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my other podcast guests, maybe we can find it here. He makes a goal of getting out and visiting every customer in person twice a year. He flies to their location, he has lunch or dinner or whatever, has a face-to-face meeting, and he just reliably does that all the time, constantly. And it's amazing how much more business you can garner by just keeping in front of those buyers and those engineers that are helping decide where more business is going. So
Yeah.
it's a good ROI to spend that time and money to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of the
I
shop.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, and going to those conferences in person and, meeting up with the people that and taking a selfie together and putting it up on LinkedIn and, like those things go a long way.
I
Mhm.
agree. I agree. Well,
You're
thank
gonna
you.
do it? You're gonna get out there, get out of the shop and go visit people?
I am actually
Awesome, Nikki.
start as soon as the kids are out of school. We're going to Oregon, actually. That's right next to you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're going to see our customers in Oregon. There's quite a few, and
Sure.
companies just gobble up other companies. So one we've been doing business with since 2003, just expanded onto the West Coast, but I'm not going to bore you. Paul, when I see you, I'll tell you more about it. If we make
All
it,
right.
queue up.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Thanks, Nikki. Appreciate you
you.
joining us. All right.
Yeah.
So Dennis says most of our new business is a business with repeat customers, and most new customers are referrals from existing. Yeah, referrals are so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, relationships and reputation. Yeah, absolutely. And it's also I would say it's a good strategy to ask your best customers for referrals. Like,
yeah,
they probably know other buyers or other engineers, and sometimes they're just more than happy to make a referral. You just need to ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to ask though, to get the courage to say, hey, we could use some more business. We're trying to grow. We really love working with you. And if you know other companies that are similar, or that could use our services, we'd love an introduction. So
Yeah.
anyone else want to come up live and chat or ask a question? We just raise your hand or put in the chat and we'll bring you up. Otherwise, we could work on another section of the workbook or however you'd like to wrap things up, Emily.
Yeah. Yeah, the last item on page 1 is kind of one of the most important ones, in my opinion. And that's, I'm sure most of the people here have seen,
Persona.
yeah, your persona, but it starts with your why. You know, what motivates you, what drives you, what why do you show up every day? Like I started this presentation talking about you know, what pissed me off, what I saw in the industry that made me mad, and why that, you know, why that made me want to start this business. Like, starting a business is hard. It's not for anyone, right? So we have to have a strong conviction to be successful at it. So what is that conviction? You know, what keeps you coming back every day? Like, you know, talking about how I grew up in Detroit and saw, you know, shops closing and what that did to the community. And you know, that's all part of my why. That's part of why I do what I do. And that's more powerful than what I do, right? I didn't talk much about what I do today. I talked about why I do it, because that's more powerful.
So you were going to make reference to Simon Sinek, maybe start with
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, that's what I was
talk.
thinking. Start with why. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe we should drop that in. I'm trying to find it on YouTube. Simon Sinek, start with why.
Yeah. It's a good one. I think he has a podcast now too, and
Yes.
he's got a book and all the things.
Your child needs these.
Sorry, there we go. That was an ad, but here's the link to the Simon Sinek Start With Why, which is just fantastic. It has 11 million views. So since he gave that TED talk, so definitely worth watching. For any of you that are Apple fans, have an iPhone, that Apple is a poster child for starting with why. And that's worked so well for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we don't have anyone else itching to jump up here in front of everybody. That's okay. What do you think, Emily? How do you want to finish the last few minutes here?
Yeah. How many people do we still have on the call?
We got 20 left.
20 left. All right.
Including my dad, Ben Dover, which is not his real name. It's his pseudo name that he joins webinars with.
Awesome. I love that. That
Hilarious.
reminds me of we used to play Old Maid.
Uh-huh.
And one of the cards was bend over, and they were all like funny. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. And memorable. It's memorable.
Yes, for sure.
Anything you can do to be more memorable. Yeah. I can just kind of go through the rest of these and explain what everything is in the last 2 minutes here.
Sure.
Now that I don't have my worksheet up anymore. I ran out of paper on the last page.
I can share my screen if you.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah, so again, this is like a continual process that you're doing all the time as you interact with your customers more, as you practice as you're putting content out there more and talking with customers more and getting clearer on your message. So page 2 is all about, I don't know why I was thinking about this the other day, but like, so I went to an engineering school, and there were tons of, tons of smart boys with J names, I like to say, right? And there were not that many women. So as you can imagine, they used to call it like the swarm effect, or the instant princess syndrome is what they would call it sometimes too. So, you know, I had plenty of suitors. And the reason I think one of the reasons why I ended up with my husband is because I saw that he was working on himself. Like he wasn't like a fitness guy, whatever, but when we started hanging out, he started running. And you know, I noticed that, and like he was cleaning himself up and looking nice, and like that's what you do to attract your customers too. You want to sharpen yourself up, right? Like look sharp, feel sharp. Like what, again, that mindset thing, like what can you do to feel your best and most confident? So that's those. Oh, sorry, I just realized I had the same title on 2 pages, so it wasn't supposed to be that way. Anyway, yeah,
So that's
and
the brand. That's the brand messaging, persona, stories, and assets.
yeah, yep. So, and your stories are important. People get inundated with information these days. Stories are what's going to break through the barrier. And then shine is just get out there and share your message with people. Be seen, which is terrifying to
That's the
a
getting
lot
out of your comfort zone part.
Yep, get out of your comfort zone. Do more of what works. Do that. The warm outreach, like we were talking about, reach out to your customers, make sure that they know you're there. Ask them lots of questions, because that will make you more memorable.
Awesome. Well, Emily, thank you again for another awesome workshop. When we send out this recording to everyone, we'll make sure all the links and downloads are there available to you as well. So if you didn't get them before we close things down, you can get them on the email. And yeah, appreciate your wisdom and advice. It was great to do this with you again. And
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you on our next webinar.
Yeah, thank you guys
Hey,
for having me.
everybody.
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming, guys.